Let's take a brief look at the Alesso Heist DLC. This was the 6th paid heist DLC released for Payday 2 and features a unique setting. The gist is, Gensec is hosting a showcase of their new vault technology at their very own arena. As it happens, the vaults aren't just for show, they're fully functional and already have mounds of cash stored inside them. As both a money-making job and a middle finger to Gensec, the crew is going to empty the vaults under the cover of a massive concert from Swedish DJ Alesso. Let's get that out of the way straight off. Yes, this entire DLC is a promotion for a DJ most people outside of Sweden had never heard of. That isn't inherently a bad thing, however, as I go through the motions of this heist, you may start to understand a lot of players' disdain with this crossover. This job can be tackled as a stealth or loud venture. Let's focus on stealth to begin with. As you walk into the arena's main entrance, you'll notice something immediately. Even if you're playing with music turned off, you'll still hear the sounds of Payday, a track Alesso made specifically for this crossover, blasting in the background. While I get that you're at a concert, meaning the music is effectively present rather than incidental, when I turn music off, I want the music gone. The only way I was able to disable the music to get footage with clean game audio was through a mod linked below. Speaking of footage, you've been watching me accomplish the first objective, locating a number of security rooms strewn throughout the arena marked with red X's. Inside of these rooms are boxes. Inside of one of the boxes are some explosives you'll need to access the vault. The first room you check will also grant you a circle cutter, totaling to 2, assuming you purchase the extra cutter asset. The exact amount of rooms to locate and C4 to grab increases the higher the difficulty you're on. In fact, entire blocks of the kitchens and back rooms you'll need to sneak through are removed on lower difficulties. After all the required C4 has been obtained across several stories, you'll head down to the basement directly below the target vaults. You'll have to be extra cautious for this next part, as on higher difficulties there's a civilian, 2 guards, and several cameras lurking around. In my experience, it's pretty much impossible to proceed without taking care of all of these threats, due to the ceiling where the C4 must be primed being out of your crew's reach. Conveniently, a forklift stacked high with boxes is at your disposal, which can be driven directly under the blast sites to be used as a stepladder of sorts. The obvious issue is that if any of the formerly mentioned threats sees you driving, they'll become alerted and potentially cause a chain reaction, creating an unwinnable situation. So with the guards killed, civilian tied, the remaining threat is security cameras. Unless you feel like juggling a security loop for the majority of the heist, you'll want to take care of the camera room. This can be in one of 3 places that range from easily accessible to questionably risky to quite nearly impossible to access without failing stealth. I find myself restarting the heist over and over until the security room spawns in the best location, as I consider disabled cameras a downright necessity for effective stealth on the Alesso heist. Anyways, after all pieces of C4 are rigged, you'll want to head all the way back up to the top floor, into the tech booth, dodging a single guard and tying down the single civilian. As far as I can tell, the guard will never enter the room with the civilian, so this shouldn't be a problem. And now for the reason for all of this, for the C4, the concert, and all. Bane is going to time the detonation of the explosives to the pyrotechnics of Alesso's concert, covering up the sounds and vibrations caused from our vault busting. So, plug in your laptop and get ready to follow Bane's instructions. 3 buttons light up, and then Bane will tell you to press 1, or 2 on higher difficulties, corresponding to the left, right, or center pyrotechnics for the show. You can see this happen through the window along with the lifelike crowd. And the closest you actually get to the title character of this DLC, there he is, over there. That's really it. Regardless, keep playing Simon with Simon until all 3 stages of the pyrotechnics are complete, and thus all of our C4 in the basement has detonated. If at any point the wrong button is pressed, the stage you're on will reset, which simply means time wasted. However, 3 strikes and a guard will come calling to investigate the issue, likely ending your stealth run. After it's all said and done, go all the way back down to the basement again. If this feels tedious and awful, it's because it is. Labyrinth-esque map design infused with cameras, guards, and civilians is obnoxious on its own right without the addition of necessitating frequent multi-leveled adventures throughout. What I'm trying to say is that the level design sucks. Nevertheless, upon arrival at the basement, you'll find 1 to 3, depending on your difficulty, sizable holes in the ceiling, exposing the weak points of the vaults, their underbellies. Using the forklift to climb back up, mount your circle cutters, wait a moment, and uncap the holes, allowing for 2 bags of cash per hole to fall through. Assuming you're still in stealth, the drop-off point for these bags will be inside of a storage closet somewhere on the floors above, although never on the top floor. Bane will inform you where the drop-off is located. There are convenient chutes available for swift bag transportation between floors. When a bag is put inside of a chute, it's sort of cached, waiting at the other end for the gate to be opened. Use caution: when the receiving chute is opened, all bags cached inside will come spilling out, being left out in the open to be potentially discovered by security. So, I like to do batches of 2 or 3 bags at a time, wait for the coast to clear and move the handful of bags into the drop-off vent, then close the chute and head back downstairs. Repeat until all of up to 18 bags of cash are secured. This is a huge amount of bag moving for a comparatively small payout, considering that money isn't worth a lot of money. Once you've secured enough loot to satisfy Bane and your own greed, make the call at the loot drop-off to inform your bad guy that you're ready to unmask. That's right, you actually remove your mask and weapons at the end of this heist to escape. Carefully dodge the maze of civilians and guards blocking the exit, and walk out the way you walked in. Overall, it's an excellent concept for a stealth job for sure. However, it finds itself flawed from poor map design, objective placement, and relatively low payout. So how does the loud variant fare? The heist starts off mostly the same, however, as soon as the alarm strikes, all the supply closets will be locked down. The only way to unseal them and progress is by hacking the PC in the security room. Wait for the hack to finish while defending a nearby power box, and then you can nab your C4. Things play out identically to stealth for a while after this, with the exception of the hail of bullets. Enter the cellar, prime the explosives, head to the top floor, and start the show. The swarm of cops don't make the pyrotechnics segment any easier, as audio equipment will break and even catch fire, requiring attention before proceeding. You may be wondering, hold on, if we aren't stealthing the heist, why bother masking the sounds of our C4? Shouldn't the cops have evacuated the concert by now anyways? Yep. Probably. Anyways, saw open the bottoms of the vaults and grab the cash. Instead of the loot being dropped off through a vent, Bao will fly in with a shipping container for the bags to be tossed into. In the lobby of the arena is a zip line to deliver bags from the ground floor to the balcony, meaning while this is still a tedious process, it's not nearly as bad as it is in stealth. Secure the loot and escape. In my eyes, this heist plays out a little bit better in loud, but loses all semblance of logic. If we're going loud anyways, why bother raiding the supply closets and doing the pyrotechnic segment? They serve no purpose at all, sans making this heist take upwards of 40 minutes to complete. The entire time dealing with mountains of cops, difficult to spot snipers, and Alesso's fucking face. Not that I wish to parrot James Black's review here, but I agree with his assessment of the plethora of propaganda.
The effect for me was similar to that of having Dr. Breen's face plastered all over City 17. The sheer repetition of his visage becomes hateful, and you end up despising the guy, even though you might know nothing about him to begin with.
Exactly! I've never even heard of Alesso before this DLC, and now despite him being presumably a pretty cool guy, I can't stand him! His face is just everywhere, complemented by this blue and pink color scheme. Now, normally I love these colors together, but their omnipresence combined with this obnoxiously shiny surface and dim neon lighting makes me nauseous. This heist is garbage in every sense, and it's a shame, as quite a few of these elements individually are neat. Stealthing during a concert, timing the C4 to pyrotechnics, using a vehicle for more than just transportation. All of these ideas on their own stand out. However, in practice, when combined together with the forced presence of Alesso's music, logos, and mug, I cannot stand the Alesso heist. Whew. So, does the rest of the content in this pack make up for that? The only gun this pack adds is the Madiver 357 revolver based on the Madiba 2006M. Statistically quite similar to the base game's Bronco 44, the Madiver has one clear advantage. It's the only revolver pistol that can have gadgets mounted onto it, allowing lasers and flashlights while offering the same power as the Bronco. However, this comes at the cost of a lot of customization, lack of scope mounts, and a slower reload time. In my eyes, the Madiver is just a worse version of the Bronco, although the addition of a gadget mount may make the trade-offs worth it in some players' eyes. Moving on to the melee weapons, we have the microphone, the baton, the metal detector, and the microphone stand. None of these weapons stand out, honestly, with the possible exception of the baton being a nice addition to any SWAT-themed builds. Finally are the masks, being Boombox, Cantus, Female Concert Goer, and Male Concert Goer. These are probably the best part of the whole DLC. They are interestingly stylized, take surprisingly well to customization, and are pretty cool all around. So that's about it. Would I recommend the— No! No, I would not. This is, in my opinion, not only the worst heist DLC, but the worst DLC, period. The Alesso heist is painful in stealth, tedious and loud, and not worth the payout at all. The weapons are lackluster, the music, while not bad, draws annoyance quick due to the lack of base game toggleability, and overall, it's just a bad experience. Especially considering that at the time of this video's making, Payday 2 Ultimate Edition was just announced, info in the description. I cannot recommend that anyone, unless you're a really hardcore Alesso fan, purchase this DLC. Sorry to be so negative, but that's just honestly how I feel. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.